Hi guys, Squirrel here, back with a mod review. This time I'm going to look at the Freightliner FLB. This is version 1 of this mod. It's quite a nice little truck, this one. You should definitely take a look at it. I'm going to take you through it shortly, show you some skins for it, but just listen to this engine. This truck is available down at the Volvo dealer, and if we click on customize, you can see there are things about this truck that lead you to think, oh, that's not very customizable, is it? But it has a few little hidden gems. For example, the cabin is completely not customizable, but that's not true. The chassis is completely not customizable. Again, not strictly true. Engines, this is where this mod is beautiful. This engine range, you've got cats, you've got ISXs, and you've got cats with a cert. Alright, now I've tested these, and basically these three here, they all have different audio, and they all operate and pull differently. It's quite nice. I mean, you heard the engine in the intro there. That was the cat engine, but the ISX engine will sound different again. It sounds much smoother. I'll show you the engine sounds in a little while, but let's crack on here. Transmissions, we've only really got some options here of 6, 10, 13, and 18 speed. All of them come with a retarder. However, the retarder itself, you can't hear it when you operate it, so you don't know you've turned it on or off, and there's no operable switch inside the cabin, so be wary of that one. But the retarder is very, very effective. If you haul a big load and go downhill, you will need the retarder, and it does work quite nicely. Inside the cabin, again, not much to customize except standard and custom, the only difference being the steering wheel. Personally, I kind of like that custom one. The standard one looks okay, but the custom one looks better, I think. It's a nice dash, there's no doubt about it. It's a nice interior, very pleasant. You just can't do very much to it. However, it does support cabin accessories. If you've got that, I'll show you that in a second. Let's go outside. I'll show you the skins in a second. When you go outside, there is an option here, which is an interesting one. You saw the truck then, which had wings, and it had the spoiler on it. So, I think this is pretty ugly. It's not aesthetically very pleasing, but as you saw on that trailer back then, if you're taking a pretty high load, then the spoiler does work quite nicely. If possible, I would recommend you go with just the wings option. I think that looks pretty tasty, and obviously if you haven't got a box trailer, then you probably just want to go with the cab. Next to that is the pipes. The pipes are varied in single, twin, chrome, non-chrome, short and long. So if you just basically go through them, then you can see the options that are available. Again, short and long. So, for example, if you was to put this spoiler on here and come round the back there, then you probably want to go with the high pipes like that, which just reach over nicely above the spoilers. Let's get rid of that. And if you don't have that spoiler turned on, then you get the option of a roof grill. If you have the spoiler on, then you don't get this roof grill option. This roof grill does actually allow side-mounted air horns, which work. A lot of the time when I've played with mods and they've got air horns down the side, they often don't work for some weird reason. Maybe that's a fix in 122, or maybe that was a mod bug, I'm not sure. But all I know is I put air horns down the side of this thing and it worked absolutely fine. Now, going across here, there's unfortunately no kind of bar, which looks like things are attached to, but if you drop a light in, then it just looks like it's fixed directly onto the cab, which isn't ideal, particularly on some of them, but I would prefer the bar option itself. But it does seem to work pretty nicely. You can get some nice configurations here with your lights. It does work with beacon options. I've turned any beacon mods off at the moment, but if you've got any beacon mods or any illuminator LEDs, that kind of thing, they all work. They'll all go on there absolutely fine. When it comes to the visor, you've only got two options, unfortunately. You've got the painted and the chrome. I'll show you those in a second, because when we skin this up, you can see quite a bit of difference. In fact, let's skin it up now. I've got I'll leave a link in the video description, by the way, to my mod spreadsheet, where the Freightliner FLB is, as are these Freightliner FLB skins that I've downloaded. These are separate mods, very small, but they give you some nice little skins. For example, that one there, which is the Consolidated Freight, you saw that in the intro. That is actually a real skin in real life. That skin was used on this truck in real life, and it looks quite good. It's pretty cool. There's also this one, this mask stripe one. This one has 4 different colours, and what you can do is you can set the base colour for a kickoff, and then you can basically come in and you can set, not surprisingly, stripes to whatever colour you want. So a lot of variation there that you could play with, get a nice little look. You've then got this one, which is a blue and white. You can't change anything on here. Even if you change that colour there, it doesn't do anything. But again, it looks pretty pleasant. And then finally, you've got the yellow freight skin, which again doesn't make any difference on this. This one also comes with a box trailer, which works with this, called yellow. So you can run with both of those and get quite a nice look. This is a template, which I don't know why that's enabled in here. I couldn't find how to turn it off again. But, you know, I've got these mods selected and this template just sits there going, yeah, okay. So you probably don't want one of them. But let's flick back to that one, for example. Once you go back outside, you can then see that, you know, the chrome starts to look good or not, depending on what paint skin you've opted for. You've then got some other options down here. For example, this one gives you a quite large array of bull bar add-ons. Now, personally, I can mount lights down here. For example, these lights here, they fit quite nicely down there. But these dots here, for some reason, and I don't know why, but if you notice, all of the little mini lights are missing. You know, the little tiny LED ones. I've removed all of my other truck mods and accessory mods, and I still have this problem. I'm not sure if this is a problem with the FLB mod in version 1, or perhaps with Eurotruck version 122, or just perhaps I do actually have a conflict. Some people have said they've seen these lights, some people have said they got the same problem. Your mileage may vary. But it does kind of limit what I can do at the moment. I can't put these little accessory lights on here. However, I can put them down here. When I go for these different bumper options, the accessory lights then become available, as you can see. So I don't know. Like I say, you may have better results than I do, but for whatever reason, I can't put the LED lights onto here. So you can do that configuration, and if your lights are working, you can configure the front up there. The bumper options, as you just saw, there are a few little bumper options with lots and lots and lots of dots on them. So plenty of, actually, the dots that sit here, these dots are actually located just behind the bumper. So if you put anything there, just be aware that that is actually behind the bumper. So when you turn the lights on like that, it kind of glows through in this very strange fashion, as you can see. Because what's going on is the light is around the back there. So be aware of that one. In terms of wheels, you get the standard SCS wheels, and it also comes with a couple of custom ones. Chrome Custom 1 and 2, and this comes with its own Custom America wheel, as you can see here, which looks pretty good. It's a Continent wheel, and you know, I've got Alcoa wheel packs, and they work absolutely fine with this truck, but I just thought I'd show you the stock one that comes with it. So it does come with its own 2 wheels and a tyre. Tanks, you've got 2 options here, aluminium or chrome. Choose whichever suits you, but if you go for chrome, then you might want to also change that to a chrome visor and get a chrome front and that kind of thing. Unfortunately, the mirrors here, you can't play with those. You can't make them painted or plastic or chrome. They're just fixed into chrome. So be aware of that. Then you've got the fender back here, which can be either plastic, aluminium, or chrome. Again, you probably want to fit that in the rest of the style. We've showed you the exhaust. We've showed you the beacon lights. Again, actually, that's not working, is it? Look at that. I was going to say, again, this doesn't work if you've got the spoiler option enabled. You can't see anything. And the roof bar option, this one, although it's available, a lot of the dots are actually hidden underneath here. So yeah, you can configure this. There's not a massive amount of configuration. Where I think this truck really does come into its own is in the engine audio and the drive. It's a nice drive, there's no doubt about that. It holds quite solidly, and it sounds beautiful. It even looks pretty good. I just think, you know, in the next version, hopefully they'll bring in some more accessories. If you pop inside, it does, like I say, support cabin accessories. So, you know, you can put your cool box here, you can put your overnight bag over there. You can put your can of Pepsi and your notepad. Prefer Diet Coke myself. You've also got your dashboard dots, which gives you a whole array of dots. This is where it gets a little bit weird. For example, you can put an SCS mug at an angle, which is kind of odd. So I'm not sure about these dots, but these ones over here work absolutely fine. You know, cabin accessories for the win and all that. You've got a dash cam, which doesn't serve any functional purpose, it's just aesthetic. And you've got an OBC, which does operate functionally. If you watch my intro video, you'll see it shows you the gear changing. This sat-nav is fixed, does work, can't be removed. Up top, you've also got a radio you can put in there. And then all the other dots are the usual array of, you know, curtains, hanging items, and jewels that you can put on here. So standard cabin accessory stuff going on here. And that is that. That's the configuration of the Freightliner FLB. But let's go and have a listen to some of the engines. Okay, let's start off with this one first. This is a Cat 550 down here. It's a 550 brake, horsepower Cat engine. And then we're going to look at the Cat with the Assert, and then finally I'll show you the ISX 600. So this is the Cat 550. We'll just buy that, and we'll sit inside, we'll start it up. That's what it sounds like in the cab. From the outside, beautiful sound, isn't it? Now pay attention to the low rumble, the quite high turbo whine. Let's compare that with the Cat with Assert. Slightly lighter sound to it, not as much bass. Still the same turbo whine, but nowhere near as much bass in the bottom end. Different audio, it's lovely. They all sound great, that's the thing about this. They all sound fantastic. Now the ISX is the different one. The ISX 600, for example, you'll hear the difference straight away in this one. You see how smoother it is? Hardly any turbo whine. Not so much bass, and in very, very smooth, like silky engine. Out of all of them, personally speaking, just because I like the bassy sound, my favourite has got to be the Cat 550. I think this one is the one that, for me, it's just got that throaty exhaust note to it. Sounds like it really means business. But yeah, that's the different engine options. They all sound fantastic, and they're definitely the best part of this. Let's take it for a quick test drive. So here we are in the cab. If I put the lights on, you can see it's got a wonderful instrumentation display going on. I absolutely love that display. You can see the lights operate quite effectively. You've got the dash illumination showing your lights are on, but just the general night lighting looks beautiful. Top left there, that box, you see how it shows you what gear we're in? It's got all the basic information there. You know, the fuel temperature, all that kind of thing, current time. Everything that you need. That complements, I would definitely recommend having that turned on, because it just wonderfully complements the sat-nav. It breaks the information to two separate things. I should probably pay more attention before I start reversing. There you go. Now this trailer here, I should probably take the box off for this, but never mind. This trailer here is 40 tons, which is pretty heavy. And this is the 600 brake engine that we had put in, that I showed you before. Well, let's listen to it whole. That bassy, throaty rumble just sounds so nice. Indicator, instrumentation all works fine. It's simple, like the cabin in this thing is simple, straightforward, but it's effective, you know? It doesn't need any more. It doesn't have any more because it doesn't need any more. Let's ignore that. But let's drop it down to 4th gear, right? 40 tons, straight line on a flat. You can have a really nice drive with this truck. I know I have. I've driven this truck about 1,500 kilometers and I never had a problem with it. I was even taking some very, very heavy loads, some very steep hills. This is TSM map, and TSM map has some pretty steep hills in it, let me tell you. I did get down to like 2nd gear on some of the hills, but I would think I was hauling 35 tons. But other than that, it performed absolutely beautifully. Well, that's it for the mod review video of the Freightliner FLB. Link is in the video description to the mod spreadsheet. Suggest you go and download it, and also download some of the skins, because they make it look pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed the truck, hope you enjoyed the mod review. Please give me a like if you did. Until next time guys, take care. Happy trucking.